Point, South Shields. This is where we ended an earlier walk from the South Shields ferry landing. I did say then that one day we'd continue southwards along the South Tyneside coastline. Today's the day. We'll be following part of the England coast path. That mound is, I think, the remains of a wartime coastal battery. This is the Lees, a couple of miles of clifftop grassland, owned and maintained by the National Trust. We've just had a few drops of rain, but it looks like it's really coming down out to sea. Frenchman's Bay, said to be so called because a French ship was wrecked here in the 17th century. Menhaven Bay. The remains of a winch. This was once an active fishing bay. R.I.P. Tyson. A few more drops of rain, and more rainbow action. coming up to Marsden Bay. Camel Island, so called. I always think it looks more like a turtle. Its old name was Velvet Beds, on account of the fine springy grass and thrift that used to grow on it. At low tide, traces of a quay made of large rectangular blocks of stone can be seen on the southwest side of the island. Probably early post-medieval in date. It's a tidal island. You can access it at low tide. But it's coming in right now, which also means we can't continue along the beach here. That's the remains of a wartime pillbox. So, back to the cliff-top path. Another view of Camel Island. Marsden Rock. It used to be an arch, and looked like this. Then, during a storm in 1995, the central part of the arch collapsed, leaving two stacks. The smaller one was deemed to be in a dangerous state, and so was demolished. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, visitors could climb a wooden staircase attached to the side of the rock. In 1903, a whole choir climbed the rock to perform a choral concert. According to one account, the effect was most inspiring to the listeners as they stood on the high cliffs of the mainland and heard the great swell of choral praise floating over the wide waters and ascending to heaven. Approaching Marsden Grotto, a pub and restaurant, originally blasted out of the cliffs in the late 18th century by a local quarryman called Jack the Blaster. In the 19th century, a pub landlord, Peter Allen, took over the grotto and turned it into an inn. It's supposed to be haunted by the ghost of a smuggler, called John the Gibber, who was supposed to have been murdered after he grassed up his fellow smugglers. It is said that he was hung in a barrel in a cave close to the present lift shaft and left to starve. At one time, the landlord would leave out a special tankard of ale for the ghost each night after closing. And, in the morning, it would be empty. Or so they say. The grotto has a lift for customers. Otherwise, it's down the stairs. I'm not sure that's very encouraging. Well, we're going to break the journey here. We'll continue in the next video. Hope you've enjoyed the trip so far.